I have picked gallons of blueberries this week. I have become very resourceful in finding and picking the largest and sweetest blueberries without breaking my neck. Good morning, this is Kathleen Pate, and this is my Alabama farm life. Today I'm going to be picking blueberries, processing them, and even making some jam. Look at this beautiful cluster of blueberries. They look just like grapes. I've collected almost a gallon of blueberries today, so I'm going to go ahead and get them processed. I'm going to get them washed. I'm going to look for any overripe berries or underripe berries, leaves, small branches, or any of these little tiny sticks that are still attached to the blueberries. From this batch, I'm going to go ahead and separate several cups of berries for my first project. I'm going to make a very simple 2-ingredient blueberry jam. I wanted to see if I could make a very simple jam just using 4 cups of blueberries and 2 cups of sugar. I put my pot on low heat and I combined the blueberries and the sugar together and stirred. This method was very impractical and I will not do it again. I pulled out a masher and I mashed the berries real quick until I got enough moisture so that the sugar would melt. I could have added a little bit of water and this would also have helped melt the sugar, but after it was all said and done, I think it looks really good. I turned my heat up to medium-high so that I could get my mixture to boil. I let this boil down until I found the consistency that I was looking for. When the jam started sticking to the sides of the pot, I knew it was done. I put the jam into 2 clean jars, water bathed it for 10 minutes, and I came out with 2 beautiful pints of blueberry jam. I went through a dozen recipes trying to find just a basic jam recipe, and this is pretty basic. Blueberries and sugar is really all you need. This jam has a nice firm texture, and it holds up very well to the toast test. Will it stay on my toast? And yes, it does. It also has a beautiful flavor without being overly sweet. As I was processing the jam, I laid out the rest of the blueberries to dry. I went back and I went ahead and turned them so that both sides have an opportunity to dry out. I label and date quart freezer bags, and then I just go ahead and fill them up. I am very careful not to squash any blueberries while doing this process. So don't lay your bags on the berries like I did. That was not a good idea. I fill the bags to the top, but I try to leave enough room to where the bag will easily close, while also trying to remove all the air. Now they can be safely stored in the freezer. We have so many blueberries, I decided to make some jalapeno blueberry jam. I'm using the same recipe as previously, 2 cups of sugar, 4 cups of blueberries, and all I'm doing is adding a half a cup of jalapenos. This time I'm going to go ahead and mash up my blueberries first. I've got my heat on low, so I'm going to heat up these blueberries slowly and get them good and mashed up. I've seen recipes where water is added at this point and then the sugar to help the sugar break down easier. But once the berries are smashed, there's more than enough liquid to help melt the sugar. I've also seen recipes use lemon and pectin to help the blueberries gel, But blueberries are naturally high with pectin, so this is really unnecessary. The sugar is incorporating very nicely, and now this is where I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat up to medium-high. I'm going to bring the mixture to a boil, but I also want you to watch the color as we cook. I also want you to pay attention to the resistance of the mixture as you stir. When the mixture starts to boil, this is where I'm going to add my chopped up jalapenos. I'm going to stir for the next 15 to 20 minutes, keeping the mixture at a boil, and I'm waiting for it to reach the consistency that I want. You can actually feel a slight resistance as you're stirring. When I feel that resistance, I know I'm done. I turn off the heat and I pull the pot off the stove. It's now time to fill up my jars and get them processed. I pulled out 5 half-pint jars, thinking that I might need the extra one, but I ended up filling just the 4 jars full. As I tilt over the pot, I want you to look at the color of this mixture. And as I'm scooping it out of the pot, it's already starting to gel. Once the lids are on securely, I go ahead and throw the bottles into a small saucepan and I give them a 10-minute water bath. Now that's always a good sign when you hear the jars popping before you even get them out of the water. But they're done, they're ready to come out. I probably could have used a larger pot, but I already had this one out, so I made do. Now Eleanor and I tasted this jam before we put them into the jars. It has a very nice blueberry flavor with a bite of jalapeno. Now I was real careful not to get any seeds or a lot of pith into this recipe, so it is not hot. We were both very impressed with the flavor from this simple recipe. And now it's time for the table test. The consistency looks good, but I probably could have cooked it just a little bit longer. My jam spread well and did not try to escape off my toast. I'm going to call both my jams a success. This is a very simple garden to table recipes. Look at that. Well, I'm going to try a little bit on my eggs, and then I need to finish up and get started on my day. But I have to say again, this stuff is really yummy. Thanks to everyone who has joined me today for this video. You guys have a great day.